India and the United States are entering a transformative phase in civil space cooperation as discussions advance on docking of Uncrewed Gaganyaan module with the International Space Station. The proposal, if realized, would mark India's first autonomous rendezvous and docking with an operational International Space Station and significantly elevate the country's human spaceflight and roadmap from short-duration orbital missions to sustained space infrastructure capability. The initiative builds upon expanding cooperation between the Indian Space Organization and National Aeronautics and Space Administration, particularly after the 2023 India-US Strategic Framework for Human Spaceflight Cooperation. The collaboration gained momentum with India's participation in Axiom 4 mission, which includes Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla flying to the ISS to conduct microgravity experiments and operational training, directly benefiting the Gaganyaan program. Gaganyaan, approved in 2018 with a budget of approximately Rs 10,000 crores, represent India's first indigenous human spaceflight mission. The program aims to serve 3 astronauts to low Earth orbit at about 400 kilometers altitude for 3 to 7 days aboard the human-rated LVM-3. The 5.3-ton crew module is designed for habitation, re-entry and splashdown, while the service module provides propulsion, power and orbital maneuvering capability. Now, why does this uncrewed docking with ISS matter so much? Think of it as a practice exam before the final board exam. India's big goal is to have its own space station called Bharatiya Antariksh Station ready by 2035. To build and run a space station, you must first master the skill of docking spacecraft perfectly. ISRO already practiced this with SpaceX satellites in 2024 and 2025, where 2 small Indian satellites successfully docked with each other in orbit. But docking with the ISS, the most complex object ever built and placed in space, is a completely different level of challenge and confidence builder. It also keeps Gaganyaan's own schedule moving forward without delay. The first uncrewed Gaganyaan flight, called G1, is planned early this year. It will carry Vayomitra, a half-humanoid robot whose name literally means space friend, who will sit inside the capsule, check the cabin conditions, talk to ground control, and prove that the spacecraft is safe enough for real human beings. But the mission does not end in space. After completing its work in orbit, the capsule will re-enter Earth's atmosphere at scorching speeds, glowing like a fireball in the sky before slowing down with parachutes and splashing into the Bay of Bengal. The splashdown is perhaps the most thrilling part of the whole mission, India's own capsule coming back home to Indian waters, proving the full circle of a crewed spaceflight is possible. Imagine a calm, sensor-filled robot floating inside an Indian spacecraft, quietly sending the data back home that will one day protect the lives of Indian astronauts. After 2 more such uncrewed test flights, the actual crewed mission with Indian astronauts, called Gaganyatris, is planned for 2027. Docking capability is critical because it enables the assembly of modular space station in orbit, crew transfer between spacecraft and stations, refueling and logistics resupply, emergency evacuation capability, long-duration habitation, and scientific operations. Without mastering docking and proximity operations, a country cannot independently build or sustain an orbital station. NASA's expertise in docking technologies, ISS operational protocols, and astronaut health monitoring will provide valuable insights. Geopolitically, India-US docking discussions reflect deeper high-technology alignment, linking civil space cooperation with defense space dialogue, semiconductor ecosystems, and commercial launch partnerships. Space collaboration is becoming both a scientific and strategic pillar of bilateral relations. If successfully executed, an uncrewed Gaganyaan docking with the ISS would position India among the limited group of nations capable of autonomous human-rated docking operations. It would bridge India's near-term human spaceflight goals with long-term Bharatiya Antariksh Station ambitions, making evolution from launch capability to sustain orbital infrastructure competence. Has any uncrewed module docked with the ISS before? Yes, hundreds of times. Russia sends cargo ships called Progress regularly. SpaceX Dragon, Japan's STV, and Europe's ATV have all docked with the ISS, carrying food, equipment, and supplies. What makes India's attempt special is that no country building its very first crewed spacecraft has ever tested its capability by docking with the world's most important space laboratory. It is like a first-year boxer stepping into the ring with a world champion, not to fight, but to learn by being there.